Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a collective reading for this full moon in Taurus. So, because it's a collective reading, I'm doing it with my big combined deck of tarot cards and astrological oracle cards. So, you'll see both of them here in your reading today. And I know that the full moon happened yesterday, and I did pull the cards yesterday. I just didn't record because I received the guidance and I felt very deeply inside of me, especially my ascendant, my rising sign being Taurus, to just enjoy the day, enjoy this full moon offline and not necessarily in front of a screen. So, very much present in my own body. And it was amazing. It was a really, really beautiful, enriching day yesterday for me. So, without going into the details and going straight into the message for you, for us here in the collective, I do feel like there is a reason to celebrate this initial stage of breaking through an obstacle, breaking through some sort of dark, hidden, unconscious pattern inside of us, and feeling this elevation in our frequency, feeling like, we're going from that seedling phase, right? Going, very deep in the earth and finding, finally, I want to say, our way to the light, our way to break through the surface of the earth that could have created some sort of pressure to strengthen our ability to make sure, because we're beginning here with two fours, make sure that we are grounded, right? Especially because this full moon in Taurus, Taurus being an earth sign and also a fixed sign, we do need this sense of groundedness and stability and safety and security in order to feel like we can grow, in order to feel like we are steady, like we are anchored in who we are. And therefore, from those sustained, very healthy boundaries, we're able to face, or we're able to liberate everything that was confining us or pressuring us or keeping us low or down, right? So there is a reason to celebrate, right, with the Four of Wands. And it's fascinating because I believe this card came through in the 1111 portal collective reading that I posted last Monday, I believe. Yeah, it was in the 1111 day. So this card, yes, is connecting to that reading. And if I'm not wrong, I feel like that message brought the seed, right? Brought the image of us going way deep into the earth to, it's almost like to, it's like to prepare something that was like a very beautiful potential, but it needed some sort of preparation or some sort of like specific conditions, right, to make sure that we would break through and look for light, right? Go for the heavens is what I'm hearing right now, and celebrate this reunion, celebrate the breakthrough, celebrate this moment of before, right, being so surrounded or so embedded within the earth, embedded within the density, embedded within, laws of gravity and everything pulling us down. Specifically, as I said, because there is another four, and that's the Four of Pentacles, which is representing the seed. So here are the first sprouts. It's interesting because the Four of Wands here, it doesn't want to be the full bloom, the full flower. It's yet to be seen in that self actualized version. But these are the first signs that also, you know, um, it's like instigate us, ask of us to celebrate these first breakthroughs, right? Because I do feel like, your entire reading today and for the collective, right, for us all, this message today, it wants to be this path of ascension, this path towards healing the heart, especially in regards to loneliness, and we're going to get there. But before that, it's almost like the conditions, the groundwork that needs to happen is, it's almost like it's so essential. It's like it's the first boundaries. It's almost like this is the limitation, the drawing the line, right? It's almost like preparing the terrain, preparing our body to feel like we are able to even hold and sustain this growth, because we are showing up here as the Page of Wands. So, still initial stages of development, still initial stages of growth. Yes, I do feel like there is already this cause for celebration. So it's almost like celebrate the small achievements, right? Because it's almost like that's the path to keep on moving us forward, keep on just giving the incentive, giving the inspiration to heal, which is coming later on, in a moment where we don't know much, right? It's almost like in this phase of doing this groundwork and just feeling like our boundaries are going to be respected, because we are making sure that they are, steady, that they are safe, that they are, it's like that they're going to hold on no matter what comes through, right? So, because this groundwork has been done, even though we couldn't see much because we were still underneath the earth, so underneath our ability to see the light, right? It was still very dark, very dense, right? Maybe we're talking about this 3D plane, but the moment that we are starting to see the first sprouts, it's almost like that potential, right? With the Page of Wands. So the wands, it's almost like the seed that contains already the full tree, right? But before it becomes the tree, it holds that pattern, it holds that potential within the seed. So the seed needs to be planted, needs to be in the earth, in the ground, right? In order to break through the earth and start coming to life, right? Coming in order to, to search for the light. It's like this instinct, this impulse that here is wanting to move upwards. So the Nine of Swords here, even though it's a very uncomfortable, right, typically associated with pain and all of these nightmares and insomnia, or everything that we don't want to deal in our minds, right, and all of those it's like those storms that we create in our own mental space, right? But the thing is, the path is clear, especially because the star is here, right? It's almost like the star is the guiding light. It is the light, but it's not the sun, right? So it's not blinding. It's a delicate healing light that is not going to blind us after a period where we have been so diligently, right? So steadily been grounding ourselves, been doing the work, here in this earthly plane. So it's almost like it's still like reaching for the surface of the earth, and now we're starting to go beyond it, because there is this strength, there is this impulse, there is this upward motion, desire to face whatever was our biggest fear, perhaps. And maybe it was loneliness, just because it was the first word that came through with the Nine of Swords, but it could be any fear, really, right? It's just talking about like maybe there is one in particular, right? Because it's like it's being singled out, right? Imagine that is like the truth of like this basic essential fear, that because of that it's like the path is being cleared, because there is this intention of healing that, and all of the other fears, right? All of the other 8 swords, even though we don't have much experience with how to deal with all of them, it's like even if we just pick one of those fears and we go for it, right? It's like we face that. We're trying to understand why it was there in the first place. It's like we are looking for this guidance, for this sense of orientation and healing, right? It's like it's almost like healing is the impulse, right? It's like the strength that calls us to just face whatever we need to face. And it's like this, it's interesting because it's like this upward motion, even though, oh, maybe that's the reason why it's beautiful that we are still in it in our infancy, because it's just a page. So it's almost like we are very light. It's like we haven't yet reached the point of the heaviness of like I was going to say an adult, and I'm sure everyone here hearing this is an adult. I don't get me wrong, it's just the metaphoric sense that being the page, it means that we're still very light, we're still very innocent, we're still very it's like very malleable, right? It's like we're still very able to be guided, to be not taken. It is what I heard, it is what I was going to say, but I don't feel like it's necessarily taken out of this because there is intention, right? It's like it's the page of wands, so there is this instinct, there is this desire to break through this, right? To break free from this, perhaps. But in order to feel like we're even able to have this free passage, there has to be this trust in something beyond, right? It's almost like in order to break free from the density of the earth, right, which has its purpose because it was grounding us, so it was strengthening our ability to even go beyond the laws of gravity, right? The laws of physics, the laws that rule this planet Earth, this realm, right, of the 3D. And in order to connect with the cosmos, what's beyond our atmosphere, in order to see the first signs of this sprouting that's happening, right, in our soul, in our consciousness, in our energy field, we do have to face that which was blocking us, or that at least it was confining us, or scaring us away. But the moment that we understand that actually this is just helping us to go against gravity in a sense, right, and to find the light in the cosmos, right, and a light that is a guiding light, it's not a blinding light, right? So that's the reason why the star came through here and not the sun. I feel like it's like it's a very, and it's beautiful because what I'm receiving now, it's just talking about how the sky is so filled with different stars, meaning that each path is unique, right? And also because the star is the Aquarian energy, right? And Aquarius is such a unique sign, right? So it's almost like our healing paths can be so unique, meaning each one of us, it's like it's going to be guided by a unique star, right? Whichever in the sky it is, right? But nevertheless, is the path to the stars. It's the path, breaking free from the thing that was confining us here and making sure that we can see this light, but not with our mind, right? Maybe that is maybe the first impulse, the first impression, but really with the Ace of Cups, it's with the heart, right? So the moment that we do feel like we have not, I don't feel like we have reached that yet, because remember, it's not the fully grown flower, right? Or the full bloom. It's more like the first initial leaves that are starting to sprout from the earth. So it's almost like this it's like this belief that we are approaching springtime. And I know that in the north, specifically, it's like you're going closer and closer to winter time. Here in the south, we are slowly approaching summertime, and but anyways, it's the metaphor of whatever is supposed to grow, there is a time for growth and there is a time for feeling the growth. So when we do feel the growth inside our heart, that's when we know that we are being guided, that we are receiving the healing, that we are reaching for the stars. And maybe this is it's like this is the purpose for this full moon in Taurus, right? Is to make sure that we are completely grounded here on earth, but still just wanting to go up, wanting to elevate, wanting to reach for the stars, because it's one and the same, right? It's like reaching for the stars means it's the same thing as, reaching for our own heart. It's like that's the reason why, also, to me, this Nine of Swords was talking about loneliness, right? It's like restoring, repairing the heart that could have been, you know, um, surrounded by sorrow or sadness, or um, whatever was threatening the health of the heart, or the livelihood of our feelings, or our emotions, our relationships, right? But this is one heart, it's your heart. So it's like a relationship to self, healing your own heart, right? This is basically healing like what you understand by self-love. And when you do, that's when like the doors to relate to others open with the Three of Pentacles. So it's interesting how we need to go from, planting the seeds with the Four of Pentacles, so needing to put up the boundaries, right? Draw the lines, maybe say no to some people and maybe yes to others, right? It's like making sure that you understand your own boundaries, specifically because it's like this is so fresh, right? This maybe, something that you didn't know how to, make sure that you hold on steady, hold on strong to your own boundaries. Like make sure that you respect them so that others can respect them as well. But the moment that you find this sense of healing inside your heart, that's when you know that it's like that you have somehow been following this path to healing, right? So that's when you realize that it doesn't need to be so rigid. It doesn't need to be so stuck. It doesn't make you feel like you need to hold on to these boundaries as if they were, these very solid walls. It's like they're meant to be permeable. So it's almost like maybe in this process of facing your fears and facing your loneliness, or facing one of your fears that is, or that was and maybe still is to a certain degree impacting your self love, impacting your heart, and maybe even like your relationships overall. It's like maybe there's something that here you have put in place to make sure that you are doing this groundwork, but it's not necessary anymore. It's like the moment that, we begin to start growing, right? Start maturing and celebrating those first initial stages of growth, that's when we know that it's like at least one, or maybe more, because that's the thing, is like with the Four of Pentacles, there were more seeds planted. So it's almost like making sure that we were placing all of the seeds, holding that potential. And then the moment that we're ready to see them sprout, it's like we know that it's almost like we can anticipate that more and more seeds are going to bloom. So more and more partnerships, more and more collaboration, more and more um, of the collective are going to be a participant of, right? It's like we're not going to just feel that our heart is healed, but because our heart is healed, that's when we can offer help to maybe, water other people's seeds, right? This is what I'm feeling, because the cups, right? It's like you have your cup full now, so now you can perhaps offer to water somebody else's seeds if they need help, if you receive this intuitive feeling that you healing yourself, it's like you can help others also. Maybe you're going to be, the representative of this healing path, this guiding light to somebody that is also struggling with loneliness or struggling with whatever they're facing, right? So being like offering your helping hand, being this guiding light, being somebody that could potentially help others, right? Or maybe receiving help. But I do feel like here is like giving help, or being able to facilitate the healing process for another, right? Because it's almost like you're picking one of your seeds, one of your potentials, almost like you're developing one of your potentials, right? And you're offering to water somebody else's seeds, right? Because you see their potential as well, I want to say. And so, just to finish this part of the reading, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Pisces energy, which, not only is kind of like reinforcing or confirming the sense of going upwards, right? Because this is what this channel is talking about. And because Pisces is the last sign, the one that transcends, right? It's like it's very spiritual, it's very in tune with whatever is more subtle, right? It's not this dense reality. It's like this is the path, but there might be almost like this filter or this barrier. Maybe that is, the symbol for whatever we need to break through, right? The surface of this reality, breaking free from whatever was it's almost like stopping us from connecting with our own heart, with our own divine guidance, with our own intuition. But here we have the sense of, it's almost like this deep compassion, maybe for yourself and for others, right? It's like these two cards could symbolize this energy, this essence of Pisces that offers help, right? It's like the one that serves, right? So the because you have been receiving your guidance, following your guidance, healing your heart, that's when you can offer it as a service to somebody else. And that is also like it's like the continuation of this ascension, right? It's like don't settle for just sprouting, beyond the earth. Go, let's like keep on going, keep on facing whatever challenge you do. It's almost like because you choose one of these, right? And that's, the clearing of the path. But the moment that you serve others with your spirituality, with your, it's like with your sense of elevation, maybe with your sense of love and compassion and kindness, because now your cup is full, now your heart is somewhat healed, because you have learned what self love is. That's when you know that you can keep on ascending, right? Basically. So that was, it's, you know, I was going to say beautiful, but it's more than that. It's just like a natural process. So it's like embody the beauty, celebrate this initial stage of growth because it is beautiful and it is natural. It's just natural, right? Just like a seed that is growing. So embody that. That's when you know that you're in tune with your heart. So I am going to pull more cards to see where this wants to go next. And also, I'm going to pull from the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Bye.